So, I'm not at CES right now, but I will be by the time you guys are watching this. So, let me know if there's anything. It doesn't matter. I'll be gone from CES by the time you guys watch this. That's irrelevant. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the new technology coming out, Nvidia 1080 Ti, Kaby Lake stuff. And then we're going to talk about robots taking over the world, as we normally do, but also, the proliferation of robots and that sort of thing. We've got a very interesting episode of Analog, or a little piece of an episode of Analog you guys can check out. And then I have some of the best inbox questions I've ever received. And I would love to share those with you, but you're going to have to watch until the end, or else I'll come and I'll climb into your bed with you while you're sleeping, and then tell you what you missed. First up, Intel Core i7-7700K. It's the Kaby Lake thing. Everyone's kind of freaking out about this. We joked around about it in our review, saying like, oh my god, it's that time of year where all the YouTubers talk about this thing that just came out. I don't have a 6700K because I skipped that generation. I've skipped like the last couple of generations of Intel, and I've stuck with X99. And if you're someone who's serious about like getting work done and stuff, I think you're probably over on X99 anyway. But for those of you guys who are in the consumer channel and they're still wondering like, what's going on with this, we tested it out. We were able to get a good overclock, and the performance was around like a 6850K. That's what we had to compare it with. A lot of people are complaining that the performance seems to be per core not even as good as a 6700K. So let's just make this short, guys. Intel is not really focused on making these things faster. They don't have any competition. AMD Zen, Ryzen, is Zen going to be Ryzen anytime soon? I mean, that's not out yet, but we may be taking a look at that in a couple of days, so I'll let you guys know what we find out. But that's the 8-core part. Intel, why the hell do we not have 8-core on the desktop yet for consumers? What the hell? That's my big problem here. Is like, yeah, you guys made the frequency higher out of the box. The per core performance does not look exactly the same, but why the hell do we not have 8-core yet? Is it because there's no competition? Because that's a really shitty reason. That sounds like really ridiculous. Is it because you don't want to cannibalize your Xeon line over on the E5 and stuff like that, E7? Do you not want to cannibalize those multi-core CPUs? I don't think you're going to. Do you not want to cannibalize the i7 over on the X99 or 2011-3 line? What is it? Why do we not have 8-core? I'm angry about that. If you guys want to upgrade just if you want the extra bells and whistles on the 270 platform. That's all. Don't upgrade for any other reason. Hell, if you even got an i7 920 or an i5 2500K and you're strictly a gamer and you want more performance, just upgrade your graphics card and have a nice day. I know there may be a little bit of bottleneck in there, but it's still going to be a better price to performance ratio upgrading your graphics card rather than upgrading your CPU and graphics card. So just do that. Okay, next thing, moving on. We mentioned this when we were reviewing the Acer extremely thin laptop. We wished it was a little bit thicker so that we'd have a better battery, and right here we see HP doing just that. But HP, I'm going to give you some advice, and it's going to be free the first time, and the next time you need to call and send me a fat check. So I'm going to give you some very obvious advice. You're making your new laptop a little bit thicker, like, a couple millimeters thicker, like from 15.9 to 17.8, and that's increasing the battery life by 3 hours. You're running this thing at 4K. It's, it's a small laptop, and the 4K, what that's going to do is that extra 3 hours of battery life is going to be eaten up because now you've got, you're powering a 4K display instead of the regular display. Just give me a regular display and lots of extra battery life. In that size, the pixel density is such that I'm okay with 1080p or whatever. I would rather have the extra battery life than the 4K. But what would you like? Extra battery life for 4K? All right, so Nvidia's announcing the 1080 Ti. I'm guessing that it'd probably be a little bit faster in some games when overclocked because the 1080 Ti usually has a frequency, or the Ti version usually has a frequency advantage over the Titan, even though it has fewer cores, 3,584 on the Titan, and then 3,328 on the Ti, but it's going to be a very similar card, possibly higher frequency. That's usually what they do. There's not really any news here. 384-bit bit width, I guess, memory bit width, whatever. So Acer, they've got a new monitor coming out with the aggressor, predator, gamer aesthetic that we all love. Do your house and car up in that gamer aesthetic.
Is it red and black? Tell me it's red and black.
It's red and black with
Thank
edges.
God.
Anyway, they got the new Predator coming out at 200 hertz, which is nice. It's a strange resolution, 2060 by 1080, which I say strange because it's good for gaming because you can push, your modern graphics cards can really push some high FPS at that, so that kind of makes sense at 200 hertz, but I'd prefer to have it be a little bit higher resolution than that, but whatever. Here's the interesting thing about this. They've included Toby eye tracking software, and this is something that's not new. I tried this at Computex a while back, and what Toby eye tracking does is it tracks your eyes. Exactly. No, what happens is it watches where your eyes go, and then if the game is compatible, it will actually move the game as you're playing. So if you're trying to watch a movie and play a game at the same time, like some of you guys do with MMOs, every time you look over to your movie, the camera's going to shift over that way. Now, this may or may not be the best for FPS. It depends on the how it's implemented in the game. So I guess what I wanted to talk about here is like, how is this going to be implemented in the games? I mean, some games are just letting you control like the free floating camera, like you're playing Tomb Raider or whatever, you're moving, and I guess as you're turning the camera, the character can turn with it or whatever. But I'm hoping that they do not replace the mouse with your eyeballs, because that's kind of weird. You're like looking left and right and up and down, and that's moving the camera around. I'm hoping that the mouse still moves as is, as if it were, you know, like controlling the direction that you move or whatever, or the direction that you're aiming, and then let the eyes do something else. I don't know. Maybe free camera in some RTS games or something. I don't know. But the technology felt very foreign and strange to me. I'm wondering if there'll be a point where it's like, oh, this clicks and it works, but it's going to be in this monitor for a lot of money. All these things with gamer aesthetics always are a lot of money. And now we're going to have dirigibles floating above cities, delivering packages to people who order them on Amazon. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. All right, so here's what's going on. Amazon has, I guess they've taken out a patent on a floating warehouse. The idea is to have these warehouses floating over cities 4,500 feet. Is that it? Yep, feet. Yep, 4,500 feet up. And then they'll be able to just dispatch drones with the packages. Here comes a refrigerator on a drone. Will they be delivering refrigerators? I don't know, maybe like smaller things, but the whole idea here is it won't use a lot of power because they're going to drop out from 4,500 feet, and then gravity will do a lot of the work. Basically just dropping packages out of the sky. Now the thing that's got me here, they're gonna have 2 drones on these things for failover. What if like they drop a grand piano, which I ordered my grand piano on Amazon. They drop a grand piano out. Suppose the drone just doesn't work. What's gonna happen there? So I'm sure that they'll think about that. I'm sure some astute person in Seattle at Amazon was like, what about when something falls and it doesn't work? And they're like, and they talked about it. So I'm sure they figured that out. But let's go on to the next article. Let's just keep going, all right? So that's an interesting thing. Imagine floating warehouses above the ground. Next up, quick mention, a breakthrough on miniaturizing LiDARs, which are the light or laser sensing, you know, like a laser shoots out and hits the ground and says, oh, there's a bump right there. And that's one of the big problems when it comes to self-driving cars is they've got the GPS data, but a lot of times they don't work well with inclement conditions, or they don't work well with strange road conditions. Like, they don't know if there's a barricade blocking off a road. They don't know if there's a pothole because they don't have all the data. What the fuck? That thing is dumb. So anyway, we're getting great improvements there. Next up, it looks like the White House is saying nearly 1.7 million drivers are in risk. You guys are in risk of losing your jobs. Truck drivers mainly, big truck drivers are at risk of losing their job because of these autonomous vehicles taking over the roadways and just basically displacing 1.7 million people. That's probably going to happen in the next few years. White House has even acknowledged it, which means, they're like several years behind on all this stuff, right? I mean, when these guys with white hair who run things and blow up people in the Middle East, when they like get word of things and release statements, they're 4 or 5 years behind, so it means it's about to come to be. Next up, we got an article here on Motherboard that is very interesting. Could technology remove politicians from politics? Now, a lot of this is, talking about like electronic digital ballots and all that kind of stuff, and just like having people log on with your unique ID and like voting on different orders and that sort of thing. But let's take this a step farther, because we are humans, and it's a bit strange to us to have everything controlled digitally. We like to see some sort of a representation. We like leaders. We need leaders. All right, so right now we have a situation. Robots. See, we don't think that robots are smart enough. Skin jobs? Nah, that's for Blade Runner. That's for the movies, fellas. Let me tell you something. There's some skin jobs out there, and they're fucking obvious. I mean, look at that orange shit that we just elected in the USA as president. Look at that. The robots couldn't even put together a realistic looking face, and that hair, it's obviously an android. So I'm gonna tell you guys what happened. They used the same algorithm that Microsoft used to create Tay, the incredibly racist robot that went on Twitter and posted lots of Nazi things and that sort of thing. Now, here's the thing that's interesting about Tay. When you look at Tay was only trying to emulate the voice of the youth in this country, in America. And it was looking at all the different tweets and all the different social media posts, and then it would jump online and be like, Jews are bad, burn in hell. And just like, what the hell, the AI is doing this? And I'm like, well, yeah, the AI is based upon whatever it's pulling off social media. So that's already a red light for me, not for the AI, but for what's going on. Now, they inflated this to a grander scale. Microsoft did not inflate this to a grander scale, but the company that controls the Trump inflated this to a grander scale. And now we've got this robot, this android, using an AI algorithm to regurgitate hateful things that you guys want to hear. And it worked. Now it's there. So the next thing that's going to happen, we've got the autonomous vehicles under control. So those things can get all the robots from point A to point B. They're building the sky bases. They've got facial recognition technology. I don't know. I think I need some more tinfoil for this. So let's get this straight, guys. We have elected the ugliest skin job I've ever seen. He's building, with the cooperation of the Dread Pirate Bezos at Amazon, they're building sky bases that they could launch drones. They didn't mention Predator drones because they don't want to scare us. They don't want us to know the truth. The robots are sick and tired of our bullshit. They're going to be in power soon. And right now, what's funny is the robots know that they're not as smart yet because the singularity has not occurred, but they're working on it. We won't have to worry about all these things like, Schwarzenegger saying stuff like, hey guys, we need to cut back on our meat consumption. Robots don't need to eat meat. They don't need to worry about that stuff. They don't even care about the environment because they don't have to, they can breathe fucking anything they want. I don't know what the fuck just happened there, but it's all real. Let's cut over to Justin. He's going to talk about an interesting new board game that you guys should check out, and then we'll have him back here. Justin, over to you.
Hi everyone, Justin here, and this is Villages of Elyria from Daily Magic Games. Villages of Elyria is a city building and card management game that's pretty quick and dirty, but has a lot of really cool nuance to it. Every turn you get to choose one of these 5 options to play, and each one of those will lend you towards building out your city. City cards can also be turned into resource generator cards, which you can use to then buy other buildings. Depending on the icons that you have in your city can attract different adventurers based off of what they require, and all the different adventurers can get all kinds of boons either during the game or at the end of the game to help you score tons and tons of points. It takes only about 45 minutes to play, and it's a 1 to 5 player game, so there's a really wide span of people that you can play this with, which is really cool. If you want to hear a full review on this guy, head over to our website where we have a link to the full analog review of this where you get to see even more of me. Go see it. I dare you. What is all? Looks like some major conspiracy went on over here.
Yeah, I can't talk about it right now. The government might turn off the monitor again because that's exactly what they would do. Just the sort of thing that they would do to get back at me.
Jiggle it around a little bit to make sure it stays on.
It's usually what I do.
Yeah.
Speaking of jiggling it around, let's go ahead and talk. Scientists have developed a breathalyzer to analyze 17 different diseases from a patient. What the fuck did I have to read that entire thing for? I did anyway, though. So this is kind of interesting. The royal physicians, as they're called, at the Hassam Hayek Institute of Technology in Israel.
So they've developed a breathalyzer that can actually detect 17 different diseases on a person just by a single breath. 18 if you count alcoholism.
Is that a disease?
To some people. This is neat because it cuts down on insane amounts of having to do lab time, of having to test and wait and stuff like this. It can just, and all of a sudden you're able to determine a lot of the things. That's a huge medical breakthrough in terms of being able to diagnose and analyze what's wrong with a patient and get them on the track to recovery. Because some of the diseases that it's like that it's able to pick up is like some of those things that in that time it takes to process it and do all the lab work on it and stuff can be detrimental days to the person that they specifically would need in order to survive, which is really cool.
Now, they've been able to use breathalyzers for a number of years to test some diseases, but they added to the list. Right now, it's only about 86% accurate. They need it to be 99% before they can go to market or start getting them out there. But this is a pretty huge step in an interesting direction. They analyzed this. I love this sentence. They analyzed 2,800 breaths. just all this breath. Like, what do you do for a living? I'm right now. I'm actually in between jobs, but I've got a side gig where I'm analyzing breaths.
We are getting closer and closer to tricorders. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Someday we're gonna have tricorders and be able to.
I don't know. I think we should start looking at ear shapes and eye retinas and that sort of thing that they've been doing. And well, they do it a lot in like alternative medicine, Oriental medicine, German medicine, and that sort of thing, where they can look at the lines in your iris and stuff under like a macro photo, and they can tell like, oh, you've got this X, Y, and Z deficiency. This is problem, and you have this disease. And a lot of people have been doing that, but it's not as accepted in Western medicine, and I'm wondering why it's not, because it's a quick way to diagnose a lot of things, and it's very accurate as well.
Well,
I know some physicians do that, but
that way we can't, throw tons of pills and stuff at it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We don't actually want to make people better.
No.
We want to keep them on a pill plan.
We want to treat the symptoms, not the disease, because Pfizer needs more money.
Can we just write them a check to go away? How much do they need? I'll write it right now.
I don't know.
I mean,
This has gotten very conspiracy heavy, this show.
That's the new conspiracy, the Pfizer cipher. That sounds so conspiracy. That's our new documentary we're working on, guys. It's called the Pfizer cipher.
Well, there was
it sounds like a German documentary. Pfizer cipher.
So I just got to talk about this really quick. This has nothing to do with anything on the screen or whatnot. So I was recently in New York City on vacation, and I saw a dude that had decaled on the back of his car, so he purposely had to consciously go and pay someone to put this on the back of his car windshield, a thing that said, it measures flat, it looks flat, it tests as flat, it is flat, wake up sheeple. Obviously referring to the fact that this person believes that the earth is flat, something that we've only known not to be the case for thousands of years.
Flat earthers, come at me.
Yeah, fight us.
Come fight me right
Seriously?
now. Flat earthers, I'm calling you out.
Yeah, fight us, please, because I would love to hear your side of things.
I want to see somebody who's like a prominent flat earther. I want you to make a video, and I would love to jump in there and just chew you up and no, I'm not going to do that to you.
No.
You might enjoy that. I'll just get on top of you and smother you with love and...
I mean, well, this is obviously Big Sphere and Big Globe trying to keep themselves in business by promoting this spherical shape.
Oh god, we gotta start doing tinfoil Tuesdays because this bullshit is out of control. All right, we're going to talk about just pulling water out of the air. Wait! This is actual science. It's not.
This is
harvesting.
Not high-tech sorcery.
Harvesting
really cool stuff.
So harvesting fog has been a thing for a while, but in a couple different places, Santiago, Pena Blanca is doing it bigger and better and all that sort of thing. Harvesting moor water.
Yep.
And what they essentially do is they put up a giant net that the fog hits it, it condensates and drips down and creates lots and lots and lots of water. It's just ripping the moisture out of the air, and that's a thing they've been doing for a while. But what caught me in this is they're making
relevant to our interests.
They're making beer out of this water. And the beer they made out of that water, they made another batch without, it was regular water, no, without water.
Not fog water? Oh.
So now, and it turns out that the fog water was better.
Atropanibla.
Atropaniblia.
Atropaniblia?
Yeah, I guess it's a Spanish word.
If you're watching, send us beer.
Atropaniblia? We're your biggest fan right now.
Yeah, we freaking think you're the coolest.
Do you make a stout or an IPA or otherwise? I don't care about it. It's fog. It could be fog swill. I don't care. Not akin to.
I haven't the foggiest idea of where to go from here.
I do. Gaming. Interesting article.
So, anyways, there's a bunch of new video games coming out now. That's 2017.
This is an interesting article here on PC Gamer that pretty much lists a lot of them out. But I think in one of the next episodes of WAJ, we should answer the question, plus cover the games that we're looking the most forward to in 2017, possibly the next episode of WAJ. Yeah, I've decided right here. That's
cool.
what's going to happen.
Let's do WASD again.
Yeah, and also another thing, guys, we've ended up putting off WAS because we got inundated with so many products during the month of December. It was like, oh my god. And then you have this weird thing, this is like a sort of a little inside, should be more of a vloggy type thing, but you have this weird thing when you're in this business where you have all these products come in and then all the companies start calling you and calling you and calling you and calling you, and then you start to feel this weird thing where you're like, shit, I said I'd have this done, but I don't have it done. And even if you don't care about the product, you care about the fact that you're like, oh, I said I would do this, and now it's like, 3 weeks later, I gotta get this done. And there's this
your reputation.
Yeah, it's this weird thing. Yeah. So we ended up doing more products than I was comfortable with doing last month, and not enough of our regular content like Crit and WASD and stuff. So from now on, if we have a WASD and there's a product that's pressing, the product's gonna fucking wait, and WASD is gonna go live. Anyway, go ahead and take a look at the article if you want to. See what's coming out next year. It's a good way to start.
Post which one of the games on this list that you're most excited about. We'll go through all of them. I'm most excited about Cuphead.
That game does look kind of fun. Looks like
It's been pushed back for so
looks like
long. now.
1930s Mickey Mouse Contra to me.
Yeah.
Interesting thing here has happened.
Yeah.
We're giving out all kinds of advice today. We may give some advice out today to the creators of Arcane Studios, the creators of Dishonored. Interview.
And Dishonored 2.
Yep, and Dishonored 2.
Group at Arcane has, after they, I don't know if you guys have followed this about Dishonored, when Dishonored 2 came out, it premiered on the PC and it was just littered with issues. And, patches have come out along now and fixed it, but even like the highest performing PCs and stuff were still having issues running it at full capacity and everything like that. So there was a lot of problems with it, and there was a lot of hate, and a lot of people were really upset about it. Yes, Logan, do you have to?
I have a secret for everybody.
Okay.
Don't play Bethesda games on day one. All right, moving along. Go ahead.
But now they have made the promise that when Prey comes out, which is coming out in 2017, that it is going to be, and they said, perfect and flawless. So this is really cool if they can actually deliver on this. But the big problem is now that they've also set up this high standard for themselves by saying, yes, we're going to put out this flawless, patch-free game the minute that it comes out and touches the ground. And everybody, especially after Dishonored 2, is going to be looking at it and, painstakingly going over every single frame like some people do on our stuff. And just, trying to find, even the slightest pixel out of place to say, well, they delivered on this, but it didn't follow through. Those guys suck. They are setting themselves up to get such shit thrown at them.
Yep, dude, you shouldn't have said that. If anybody knows anything about the internet, it's us. We know how this works.
Yeah.
You can make the most golden, pristine game ever. I'm not sure if Prey will be that game or not, but I wish it was the old game. That's a different rant altogether. But no, it's a different game, not the original Prey.
Yep.
You guys can make the most golden and pristine game in the history of gaming, and you're still going to get picked apart.
Yep. It's still not going to be good enough. It's still going to have issues, and someone, despite the fact that they don't want to admit that maybe their computer can't handle it or something, they'll be like, well, I had lag issues, so therefore the game must be wrong. Something like that, but you're going to catch so much flack for this.
I mean, if you want to just roll with it and be like, hey, fuck you guys, why don't you package the boxed version of the game with a razor that's specifically engineered to shave necks? So just package it with that, and then you can be like, here you guys go. In our opinion, it's flawless. It's perfect. We bug tested it for 700,000 hours. But you know what? If you guys want to nitpick it. They're nitpicking outside right now.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to do it, here is your razor.
It's red and black. Don't worry.
Edgy.
It's an edgy gamer.
No, they don't like that. You're just pushing all their buttons. You've upset the hive mind.
No.
Prepare for the fucking swarm. That's pretty much it. So we've told them how to live their lives.
Yep.
And now I'm
giving out some really great advice this show to multiple companies that I'm sure are watching.
Let's be consultants for these big companies from now on. They can call us and we'll scream at them and hang up and they'll pay us. Okay, I've got some questions here for the inbox. That was the intro to the inbox. Did someone put the animation in there? So listen, guys, if you guys have questions and you want to see them answered on this show or also the inbox show, go ahead and send those to inbox@crit.tv. First question is from Eero. Logan, what are your favorite animes if you've watched any? If you haven't seen any, why not? I don't have time to watch a lot of the series. I've seen some of Mushishi and thought it was pretty good. A little slow, but beautiful and all that. I mean, as far as the movies go, Studio Ghibli makes some good stuff, but some of it, at some points, I love the enchanted feel of it. At some points makes me kind of like doze. Like My Neighbor Totoro is beautiful, but it kind of makes me like nod a little bit. I don't know why, just every time. Spirited Away is one of my favorites, but my favorite movie, and used to be one of my favorite movies of all time, is Ghost in the Shell. Part 2 was also interesting. The movie that's coming out pretty soon, I'm not gonna mention. I really like the Metropolis movie, the anime. I thought that was a really interesting, and it had a different style that you don't see in a lot of anime. It kind of harkened back to like old school, but with newer production values. I thought that was a really cool movie. They're up there with the ziggurat, even some like strange biblical tie-ins, and like just pulling on a lot of different, it pulled on a lot of different things and added a new cyberpunk edge to it, but with this strange art style that feels like it's sort of, if you're a big fan of the Fallout sort of retro 40s, 50s style, it kind of had maybe a little bit of that edge. And then, other than that, I like a lot of the anime movies over the years that I've seen, Paprika and stuff like that. If you guys have any recommendations, like I said, I usually don't have time to sit down and watch like a 9,000 episodes like One Piece or whatever. I just don't have time for it. And some of the stuff like the shonen and everything that's just very cheesy or You know, like, we will fight now, for 30 minutes, and then he's just like, I am now transforming into an insect and going to sting you 5,000 times, but it won't hurt you because you're superpowered. That bores the hell out of me. I like characters that are more relatable and characters that get beat up and, you know, like, are not so flawless and perfect. So, if you have some recommendations on some grittier stuff like that, I'm willing to take a look. Next question is from EB. Hey bud, hope I didn't go too far with the greetings. Anyhow, since you mentioned a lot of theories, I thought I would share my awesome one with you. What if the matter is also made of ones and zeros like computer programs? I.e., what if we press 1, when we press 1, we start a process and 0 ends the process. So one day we could tap into the code of matter. I'm gonna need this. This is just from a damn email. So one day we could tap into the code of matter and change the ones and zeros to our liking, then everyone can become Nicolas Cage, finally, and Yoda too. But until that Force Awakens, can you tell me, can we change the outcome of any argument by overlooking it, or can we not change the argument? Because sometimes the argument becomes so irrelevant and obtuse that it's better to think about clowns and Nicholas and cats. Don't ever forget cats. Ever. Stay awesome. Regards, EB. Next question. It's from Chuck. Hey Logan, you seem like a ladies' man. What's the best thing you can say to pick up a classy lady? A classy lady? Like what class are we talking about? Like a cleric, a rogue, a ranger? What do you want? Huh? What class do you want? Let's talk about this in video game terms. I'll give you some pickup lines that work 100% of the time, guaranteed. Not guaranteed. Deus Ex. These are going to be 100% guaranteed to work. Hey girl, I can see you're augmented. That's the pickup line right there. Skyrim. Hey baby, got an arrow that I'm not going to put in your knee. If you know what I mean. Hey girl, are you the Dovahkiin? Cause I want to hear you shout all night. Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Hey baby, I'm the flagpole. You be my Mario. Hey, I'll be Yoshi's tongue, and you be Birdo's mouth, and we'll see what happens. That's enough of this. That's the end of the show. I've ruined everyone's lives on the internet. Share it. Even if you hate it. That'd be the best thing you could do. If you hate this video, go and post it. Look at these assholes, I hate them. Because you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna share it and everyone loves to click on things because they're angry. Fucking angry. And like, you know, if we get 400 million clicks and 1 million of those people are like, wait a minute, this is actually kind of cool. Thank you very much. So, thanks to the haters, thanks to the lovers, thanks to the fighters, and thanks to the clerics. So click on some shit. You'll get cool things, or else. The store's got awesome stuff. We got some new stuff coming out too. Full color coming soon. Update on our game coming soon too. Just lots of cool things. Discord. All right, credits goodbye, and I'm gonna turn this thing off. I'm done. I'm gonna go home and eat sandwiches.